For just a random example of what's gonna be on this channel, which is just random shit. Hey y'all, welcome to whatever the hell I'm doing. Um, this is gonna be like my first actual video that's not a welcome to my channel. I recorded the content of it yesterday, and then I'm gonna be editing and stuff over the weekend, and hopefully this is put out by the first of the month. But basically, I'm just gonna react to the speech that I gave at my own graduation, which feels very weird to say. So for those of you who don't know, I got invited to give the speech for this award I applied. And I was like, wow, I'm super honored. I haven't really done anything interesting. So what should I talk about in my speech? And so I talked about privilege. Yay. I didn't think that I had any like crazy story to tell about or any good message to take home. So I was like, oh, well, we'll just talk about privilege because that's an important thing for people to understand. So anyways, yeah, I gave the speech about it, and then I'll probably post the script one day, and I'll probably post like an actual analysis of it one day. But for now, it's mostly just gonna be being like, whoa. So I'm literally watching it in Premiere Pro.
Applied to, including prestigious programs
Okay.
at UCLA.
Oh, this
UCSD,
intro fucking killed me
UVA,
because
and
it was
Utah.
like
He is chosen to attend
kind of
UCLA.
wrong. Like
Please
there were
join me
a
in
fair amount of
applauding the
errors in it,
exceptional
but that like kind of inflated
of
me
Jake
more so
Farnsworth.
than I actually already was. Which like I was so overinflated. Oh. Okay, I do know how I say thank you.
Thank you.
Egg.
Hello, everyone.
Egg.
We did it.
It's so funny.
I am so very proud of all of us, and I'm so honored that I have the privilege to share my thoughts with you today.
Note the highlight.
So you got to hear a little bit about the science that I was up to while I was here, but I'd rather talk about non-science stuff. So I grew up in western Colorado, pretty small place. My family had enough money. I did well in school. We moved out to Oakland. I took my first ever chemistry class with a man who is now my boss, and now I'm headed to graduate school. And so laying it out in those simple of terms, it
so
seems
dry.
weirdly straightforward, right?
It was so
Well, in a
bad.
sense,
Oh, I totally.
It was. I always had access to the support that I needed. Not once was I treated differently, denied resources or attention because of the color of my skin, or the way that I spoke, or because I let my hair grow normally, or because of my name. Not because of the anatomy I was born with, or because someone else thought the way that I expressed myself was inconsistent with the anatomy that they assumed that I had. So when I say it was straightforward,
King egg.
what I mean is I didn't
Giant
have to face
egg.
it, but so many people.
Also, seeing the people's facial expressions in the
In
background
addition to
that
this
I had not
prejudice,
before,
so
which
many
is
of us
very
bore
funny.
different burdens. Some of our peers graduating today were homeless for some or all of their degree. Some of us fought through addiction, disorders, hospitalizations, deaths, injustice, sexual assault, and so many other burdens. I think it's extremely important that we take a moment to recognize that pain, acknowledge those struggles, and appreciate success that has arisen due to their efforts. This semester, I had the opportunity to visit the Anne Frank House in Amsterdam.
I don't know if this
in the
was like a
Netherlands.
more morbid
Pretty
speech
somber
than
place.
everyone was anticipating.
Near the end of the tour,
because it was
there are
like
several of Anne's notebooks, her diaries.
kind of like down. I don't know.
Some of them are
was very
well-bound,
serious,
nice,
very
with
heavy.
sturdy covers and lined pages. But many of her notebooks were unlined. There was no guide. And as her notebooks slowly turned to fear and darkness, the museum handsets lines stop, and her diary ends unfinished. Afterwards, there's a bookstore,
Almost cried.
and on every cover, there's a picture
She was like
of this
hard.
girl's beautiful smile. And every cover has a different photo from a different angle, with a different backdrop, and a different context, and a different Anne, and then there's one cover that's just a bookshelf.
We love run-on sentences.
It's the bookshelf that covered their secret entrance, the last barrier between these incredible families and the horrors of the world. And as I mulled this over, the metaphor kept growing on me. That knowledge is the biggest thing that's still separating us and our society from Nazis who are not metaphorical. And by knowledge, I don't mean chemistry or books or tests or grades or whatever. It's the knowledge that some people are given notebooks with lines, but so many more aren't. Some people aren't given pens or notebooks at all. And everyone has such a rich and beautiful story, but not everyone is given the resources to chronicle that like I was. And if you don't acknowledge that, you're not fighting to change that, I think it's time to re-examine what your place in the universe is. If we're not supporting and empowering
being
each
so
other, that path
confrontational.
doesn't seem so far different than one Nazis would take.
I love it.
It's
so
not
much.
uncommon for someone who looks like I do to argue that all lives matter, which, yeah, of course. But the difference is, society has never told me that my life doesn't matter. So before I go, I would just like to emphasize that Black lives matter and that trans rights are
I tried to
women's
get,
rights,
like,
are civil rights, are humans' rights to believe women and always,
close to the
always
mic.
love each other. Thanks.
I am so like nonchalant at the end. Oh, there's my family. I'm just like, love each other. Thanks. Bye. Like that's it. That's like how I left it on. Oh, is my father crying? I've never seen that before. So that's a lot. I have not seen that thing in its entirety. I really had only seen snippets of the intro. And I gotta say, I did okay. I'm like pretty happy with the delivery and the content. I had some really, really important people to me help look over it and have input for anything from on like a sociological aspect of it, sort of like sensitivity and inclusivity and stuff like that. So yeah, I gotta say that's probably the coolest thing I've ever had the opportunity to do, and I feel so blessed that like they chose me. I literally got the notification, got the email that I would be speaking when I got off the plane from that trip to Germany. So I was like, okay, I gotta do it. I gotta use this like metaphor that just popped into my head when I was in the Anne Frank Museum, which is like crazy that happened. But yeah, that's my take on me, I guess. What you have to say. Okay, cool. Thank you. Bye.